Is the stuff I'm going to talk about crazy tonight or what?
You're listening to Late Night Radio on the SHR Media Network. Caution, there will be mature themes explored and potentially adult language used. If conservatarian words, phrases, certain concepts, or rhetoric offends you, tune out now.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. The only way they can inherit the freedom we have known is if we fight for it, protect it, defend it, and then hand it to them with the well-taught lessons of how they in their lifetime must do the same. And if you and I don't do this, then you and I may well spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it once was like in America when men were free.
Leftist lies and globalists, I'm pushing them back from the saloon to the airwaves. I'm spitting it raw. Constitution's my compass, liberty's law. Big gods creeping, shadows on the land. Feds with the schemes trying to bind up my hands, but I'm the Sherpa, guiding through the storm. Red, white, and blue, yeah, freedom's reborn. They spin their tails, but I see through the haze. Media maggots, lost in the maze. I'm calling it out, no fear in my soul. This patriot's fire ain't losing control. Conservative Sherpa leading the fight. Torch in the dark, burning bright in the night. Stand for the truth, won't bow to the game. Sherpas, come and remember my name. Sherpas rising. Freedom's calling. Leftist judges twisted, trying to steal our rights, but I'm locked and loaded, got them in my sights. From J6 to the border, they're selling us out. I'm screaming from the mountain, hear my rainbow shout. They mock the flag, but I'm holding it high. Stars and stripes forever under God's open sky. No globalist chains gonna cage this land. I'm the Sherpa with the truth in my hand. They push their agenda, but I'm breaking the mold. Their promises empty, their hearts ice cold. Chicago's bleeding, borders torn apart. I'm fighting for the people with the warrior's heart. Conservative Sherpa leading the fight. Torch in the dark, burning bright in the night. Stand for the truth, won't bow to the game. Sherpas, come and remember my name. Sherpas rising. I've walked the line, 41 years, badge on the grind, now I'm on the air. My voice like a blade, cutting through the lies that the traitors made. Hurricanes rage, but we're standing tall. Sheriffs of the Constitution answering the call. From the saloon to the heart of the fray, we're taking back America, no more delay. Conservative Sherpa leading the fight. Torch in the dark, burning bright in the night. Stand for the truth, won't bow to the game. Sherpas, come and remember my name. Sherpas the static, hear my voice resound. Conservative Sherpa, freedom's battleground. Berserk, Bobcat, rules will never kneel. For God and country, this fight is real.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show, where I am broadcasting live and direct from Nof, Idaho, in an actual free state. I am this guy. Look down below. That will tell you exactly what I am. I am your conservative Sherpa, guiding you through the maelstrom of Demorat leftist and globalist lies, bedlam, chaos, deceit, betrayal, and tyranny. Especially tyranny. Please note what you're about to hear for the next hour, 2 hours, roughly 2 hours, I would expect, consists of my opinion and my opinion only. I am doing the job that the American media maggots refuse to do. I am fundamentally changing America one leftist diaper at a time. And here in the saloon, we don't water our drinks just like we don't water our conversations. We are still serving stiff drinks right here in the saloon, along with facts, history, logic, rationality, clarity, proportion, context, tradition, and common sense for normal people like you and me. And so, what do we talk about? We talk about politics, religion, crime, culture, race, sex, economics, science, law. Nothing is verboten here in the saloon, where the speech is free, but the booze is not. I am streaming right now on a whole bunch of cool places, and they look something like this: Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Facebook, Twitch, Rumble, X, the SHR Media YouTube channel, and a host of other really great places. By the way, I suggest that you jump into our plush, sumptuous, palatial, and resplendent chat room, which can be accessed. Nothing exceeds like excess. And you can get there from going to the SHR Media YouTube channel. And if it's, I think that at this point, we're up to 1,640 subscribers, if I'm not mistaken. You too can subscribe as well. Always heartily recommended. And also, when you subscribe, I recommend and also emphasize with great emphasis that ring the bell. Always ring the bell. You'll get notified, theoretically, according to YouTube, when our shows launch. And also, if you would, now, later, preferably now, if you would share the shows on all sorts of media platforms, that would be absolutely wonderful. We also want to thank KLRN's Rick Robinson for helping us. He's co-streaming, restreaming, subsequently streaming, additionally streaming the show on KLRN. I remind everybody, of course, see that sign back there that I think the guy's holding up? Tax the Rick? No. Do not, please do not tax the Rick. Rick has needed some sleep, and I got him. I had mailed via Amazon a large can to him of Rest-Oleum. And so with luck right now, he is resting. He has needed it. He's burning himself out, burning the candle at both ends, because he wants to have the best podcasters like me on his show. And so thanks to Rick for helping with the show. We have a bunch of different areas that we're going to go into tonight. The topic in general is this: why is it that Republicans are essentially telling everybody, especially Republicans themselves, I should say conservatives, you know what? You can all go to hell. This is not the Republican Party that I once knew. It's the Republican Party that's here now. If, for example, the Republican Party has any interest in winning, I don't know, the midterms, why are they their own greatest enemies? You know, I want to remind somebody of some stuff. Republicans have held the trifecta, the White House, Congress, the Senate, only a limited number of times. The very first one was, can you name it? Abraham Lincoln. That's correct. And then who? You'll never get this one. Ulysses S. Grant. And then Benjamin Harrison. And you're probably thinking, Benjamin Harrison? Who the hell is that? And then it went through McKinley, Roosevelt, Harding, Coolidge, Hebert Hoover, or Hubert Hoover. I used to get his name messed up. Dwight D. Eisenhower. Most recently, now, since 1955 to 2003, Republicans, we got nothing. Okay. But then that's when you have to ask, when we have power, a semblance of power, what do we really do with it? Now, if you remember from 2003 to 2007, George Bush, son of, not George H.W., son of H.W., had Senate control in early 2003 after a party switch, and it lasted until what happened? Democrats won Congress in 2006. Midterms, baby. And since then, nada, except Donald Trump 45, a portion of that, 2 years, and Donald Trump 47 now. But the biggest question that everyone should be asking is, when the Republicans gain power, what do they do? Well, geez, I have a Republican themselves about to tell you a little bit later on in the show why this doesn't happen. Now, all of you know and already intuit that when the Democrats gain power, they don't mind throwing it around as much as humanly possible, and then some. And then, like the spineless invertebrate cowards that Republicans have become, or perhaps mostly always were, they're not interested except shooting themselves in the foot. Now, I have, well, let me go back up here and I'll show you what I have. I have tonight the Carousel of Amusing Gerp. I have Happy Stories. I have Stand By for News. And I have the GOP under Rhino Miners to talk to you about. If I get to it, perhaps a few Epic Fury updates. I guess I need to update that graphic because it's not Epic Fury anymore. And then I know I won't get to this, but the UK, as in, what the hell is going on with the UK? I went over this show last week, and perhaps you're wondering, that graphic, BZ, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, I see a ballistic missile lifting off, and it looks like it's heading towards, I don't know, some kind of an island over there where there's a nuclear burst, and it goes like this. It's not, I submit, 100% entirely impossible that the UK becomes the first nuclear-armed Muslim state. And back last week, or perhaps it was week before, I'm not quite sure, what I said was, if that becomes true, then the Department of Defense needs to go click, 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 and reset our IBMs to the UK. Because Muslims cannot acquire nuclear weapons. If and when they do, I'd like to say if, it's looking as though when they do. Do you have the slightest inkling? Do you possibly think that for any reason Muslims, won't use what they have? And my guess is, yeah. And my guess is if it gets stupid, we're going to have to turn the UK to wafting atoms. Oh, BZ, that's such hyperbole. Really? Have you been looking at the news recently? Have you been looking at the Daily Mail? Have you been looking at social media? See, here's the thing about this show. And I make mention of this because it demands that I continue refresh people's memories. They may be so beautiful, and yet, what's too painful to remember? Okay, never mind. I don't like Barbra Streisand anyway. There's so much going on. How do you keep track of all this stuff? And people say, well, the stuff you put on your show, BZ, you have no buttressing to your facts. And I say, really? I don't have to make any of this up. None of it. NUNNAVIT. None of it. I don't make anything up. I don't need to. I bring the articles and I bring the videos to you from the internet. Now, I'm 76. I'm pushing 80. I'm a techno-Luddite. I'm a dunce. I'm a moron. I'm an idiot and way too fat, ancient, hairless, beardful. That's always good. Remember, kids, with great beard comes great power and great responsibility with it as well. But I don't need to make any of this stuff up. All I do is get on the internet and use a keyboard like you probably have, like the American media maggots have, and they refuse to find the information. La informazione. Well, I do. I bring it to you from the internet that the American media maggots choose to ignore. And that is, I hope, why you come and listen to the show. I do the show, as I've said any number of times, for a couple of reasons. If people watch, bonus. That's great. I love that. If you watch, you subscribe. But that's not my personal raison d'être, my reason for existing. My reason for doing this show is to document and archive what was occurring the days surrounding an individual show. And for those of you who say, oh, BZ, I don't believe any of the stuff you're saying. Well, okay. I, on Rumble, not on YouTube, but on Rumble, on the BZ Berserk Bobcat Saloon Rumble channel, you know where to go. Rumble, fill in the field, blah, blah. I will have links to all the articles and the videos that I used tonight. So if you doubt me, just go to Rumble. Look, in show links over here, it says, boom, 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 boom. There's my evidence. I don't make this up. I can't make this up, but I can find things as opposed to what the American media maggots cannot, and they want to ignore. And I've said this, and it continues to be true. And people continuously have said, oh, BZ, because that's my name. BZ, you're nothing but a whore for Donald Trump. Oh, really? I hope you're having your popcorn right now, because with your popcorn full of buttery political goodness, you'll see that tonight, me and President Trump es not quite so bueno. And we haven't seen eye to eye on a number of things, most recently. Now, am I glad that he was elected? Oh, hell yeah. 45? Hell yeah. Because if he weren't elected, you wouldn't know a fraction of what's going on in your country right now. What occurred in 2016 was basically, it was a soft coup against a person who filled basically 4 bills, against a presidential nominee, a presidential candidate, then a presidential nominee, then a president-elect, then a sitting president. It began as a soft coup, except for the part where President Trump was almost assassinated in Butler, Pennsylvania, on live television. And of course, the moron that stormed the press dinner and 2 other assassination attempts. So it sounds to me like perhaps that soft coup turned into a bit of a hard coup. Now, I said I'm going to have a whole bunch of different segments for everyone tonight. And to remind, tonight is all about Republicans are saying in no uncertain terms, well, the country can go to hell. And I think more importantly, you fellow Republicans, you can go to hell, because we're not going to fight for the United States of America. We've decided to abandon you. Oh, by the way, did the Senate go ta-ta bye-bye already? I believe they did. Hey, also, I have tonight the Carousel of Amusing Gerp. And the Carousel of Amusing Gerp is when BZ displays things like this. And I got to tell you up front, I'm not sure I know just what the hell this is. But I'm going to play a video after that that makes you, and then I'm not going to play the whole thing because you can find it and just laugh uproariously later on when you go to the show links on Rumble. Not missing links, not tufted ears links, the show links. Get that right. And I'm going to say you're going to love the video after this one. I'm putting this up because, honestly, I don't know what the hell this is. Yeah, let's go back one. There we go. What the hell? Hot dogs. JD, hit it. Yeah, baby. Quantify for me, if you will, what this is. Okay, I found it, or it found me. I'm not quite sure exactly what occurred. But this video next is grand fun. Now, it's 11 minutes long. I'm going to play the introduction. I'll play a couple of cuts. But I guarantee you, later on, go find the link. The link will be in the show notes. And play this 11-minute video. It's worth every bit of it. It's metric tons of fun. Metric tons of buttery political goodness fun. Let's put this up and listen just for a little bit.
So I found a corner of Instagram that simply shouldn't exist. Nobody could have predicted Europeans coming from around the world for the World Cup and being thoroughly blown away by Americans. So cool. Our culture, our sense of scale, our customs, the sheer size and enormity of everything, and our food and hospitality, with a level of enthusiasm that is simply contagious. There is no known cure for this. So I put together a compilation of the best of these so that you and I can watch them together. Let's go.
Keep it.
I can't believe this is real.
And have arrived at the World Cup in one of the most insane stadiums I've ever seen in my life. This is mad.
Look how absolutely astonishing this is.
I am absolutely in shock. I made this account a month ago showing a British perspective of life in America. And the amount of messages and the amount of support that I have received from Americans has been overwhelming. Like, it has been insane.
I feel like I've been lied to my entire life about America.
No kidding.
Like, I'm in Florida. This beach is insane. Like, just as good as Australian beaches.
I have people asking to show me around. I have people offering to take me out on a boat. I have people offering to take me to their favorite restaurants. And that is beautiful. Like, there generally isn't any words to describe it, and I am overwhelmed with love.
Are you kidding me?
How the hell is this actually real?
America, baby. But here's the deal. There's always the cat in the toilet. There's always the crap in the punch bowl. After you watch this video, and if you don't have a little catch in your throat, or if you don't find yourself a little allergic, then you're not American. Americans, no real American can, for example, go to Pearl Harbor and not shed tears. But the point of playing this, because I don't want to play it all, or I'll blow through all my time. I'm only about 4 minutes from my bottom of the hour break. But the thing that I find so very sad, we're going to address this a little bit later on, is why are these people who are coming through FIFA to partake of soccer and look around the United States, why are they the ones that are shocked and appalled at everything that we have and the blessings that we have all been given that they don't have? And why is it that they are the ones who are amazed, who appreciate it, who, when you see the rest of the video, will say any number of times, we've been lied to, excuse me, for decades about the nature of the United States of America. And that's true. They have. And the people coming here, young folks, not old folks who've never been here before, but they've been told the country is evil, the people are evil, its residents are terrible, they'll all kill you. And then they're finding, well, you know, that's mostly just not true. But the biggest question is, I had Lily Tang Williams, who grew up under Mao, and I had her on the show, and I played her interview about 2.5, maybe 3 weeks ago. Why does it take someone not from the United States to say, this is a wonderful country? I would never go back to China, Lily Tang Williams. You have no idea what you have in the palm of your hands. You don't know what kind of freedoms and liberties you're saying you don't want. My father, you know, thank God my grandparents passed away in the 70s. Thank God my mom passed away in 2002. Thank God my dad passed away in 2009. Now, you get my grandparents and even my dad, 2009. That's not that long ago. You place him into today's America, let him walk around Sacramento, where he lived for years, take him back to Milwaukee, where he was born, take him to Texas, where he claimed that state because he loved it, and you show him all the mosques that are in Texas. You show him all the dilapidation that's in Milwaukee. You show him all the crap that's in Sacramento and Califalia. And you try to explain it, not just to my dad, my grandparents. Try to explain it. Imagine bringing your parents or grandparents back, putting them into today. Today, by the way, being June 25th, the year of our Lord, 2026. Put them in today and then let them watch and see. And you try to explain to them what it is they're seeing. And you try to tell them how we got here in such a ridiculously short amount of time. 1776 to 1976 to 2026. our 250th anniversary. I was around for 1976. I had two friends that traveled on the Freedom Train, and the Freedom Train just steamed all across the United States. You saw bunting and flags and fireworks in that year, 1976, like you're not seeing now. What the hell happened to our country? This is our 250th anniversary and the 25th anniversary of 9/11. So go ahead. You try to explain that.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Mission log entry. I mean, let's face it, who's even counting anymore? The Lost Wanderer is officially off course, chasing rogue rocket launches, fringe science, and things that probably violate causality. If it burns fuel, bends time, or makes scientists very uncomfortable, yeah, I'm probably going to talk about it. Every other Sunday on KLRN Radio, The Lost Wanderer, because space doesn't come with a roadmap, and honestly, I wouldn't follow if it did.
Hello, I'm Matt, a student at Hillsdale College. Here is Hillsdale President Larry Arnn on the continuing relevance of the Constitution.
Many argue today that the Constitution is outdated because it addresses problems peculiar to the 18th century. Some parts of the Constitution do read rather quaintly. Consider the injunction against titles of nobility in Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution. But is that so outdated? The purpose of the injunction is to prevent the government granting special privileges to some for partisan reasons. This strikes at the heart of the rule of law. The crony capitalism so common today is a place where the government bestows favors and tax dollars on some businesses to give them a leg up over others. This is exactly the kind of thing the Constitution was meant to prohibit. The Constitution is not so outdated after all.
This Constitution Minute was brought to you by Hillsdale College. To join the national conversation on the Constitution, go to constitutionminute.com.
Hey fellas, are you mission ready? You need to check out Mission Ready Men via Earl Big E Jackson on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, and noon Eastern. It's a show that equips you to navigate our society's challenges from a biblical perspective with courage and conviction. Tune into Mission Ready Men as we examine our culture through the prism of biblical truths, teachings, and how to apply them in our daily lives. Prepare to step up, stand out, and step into your role as a man as ordained by God. That's Mission Ready Men, hosted by Earl Jackson on the SHR Media Network. And get mission ready.
Want to make an immediate difference in the life of a critically ill child? You have the ability to do that right now. Make a donation to Dream Makers for Life, the organization that restores dreams to seriously ill children and their families. You can sponsor a dream pack for a child, which contains a clear PVC backpack, a dry erase board adventure coloring book, a journal, and dry erase markers to inspire a critically ill child to envision a future adventure and hope. Want to become a dream maker for life yourself? Go to dreamforlife.org. That's dreamforlife.org. Help a child. Help a family. There is always hope.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
And welcome back. The first half hour is done. It's gone out there. Now, like I said, tonight we're going to start with, tonight's show is about Republicans essentially saying, you know what, everybody, every one of you, especially fellow Republicans, you all can pretty much go to hell. And I had the carousel of amusing GERP. We're going to have some happy stories, and we're going to have stand by for news, and we'll go to the main topic for tonight, under rhino miners. And if we get to it, we might have some stuff about updates with regard to Iran. And I will likely get to some very seriously bad, idiotic, silly, stupid, and fattening decisions from President Trump because he and I are not so bueno on everything. But first, how about this?
It's time for happy stories and good times.
Here's a happy story. Here's where we're going to start. And it's an article from Breitbart, and it's about an opinion that came out from SCOTUS. And the court ruled today in Wolford versus Lopez that Hawaii, the state of Hawaii, violated the Constitution when it enacted a law which prohibited concealed carry permit holders from carrying handguns on private property open to the public without the property owner's express authorization. So basically, with that, I go back to Bruin. And I don't have time on the show to explain all the various cases, but this is most definitely a happy story. The court held in Bruin, basically to encapsulate, and I don't have time for in-depth stuff, that law-abiding American citizens have a constitutional right to carry firearms outside the home for self-defense. And prior to that, states like Hawaii, again, for example, made it extraordinarily, shockingly difficult for law-abiding citizens, sometimes like virtually impossible, to try to get carry permits for public. Between, let's say, for example, 2000 and 2018, Hawaii issued only, I hope you're sitting down, let me repeat that. Between 2000 and 2018, Hawaii issued 4 firearms carry licenses. So let's look at this article. And again, the links here are going to be on the Rumble side of my show. SCOTUS strikes down Hawaii's concealed carry gun control. So basically, if they were honest, which they weren't, after Bruin, the Bruin decision, Hawaii could no longer deny permits simply because government officials believed an applicant lacked a sufficiently special reason to carry a firearm. And so as a result, the state, notice that 2018 thingy, the state was forced to begin issuing concealed carry permits to qualified citizens. But what they said and what they decided is, instead of accepting the Supreme Court ruling, Hawaii enacted a whole new series of new restrictions against actual American citizens that dramatically limited, well, if we can't succeed here, we're going to succeed over here. And this is what we'll focus on. That limited where permit holders could actually carry. You had to jump through a ton of hoops for Hawaii. And this is one of a number of, see, again, I go back to why is this important? Why is it important that the Republicans not say, you can all go to hell? It's for SCOTUS. It's for this. And for any number of reasons. It's for the Constitution. It's for the Bill of Rights. It's for our freedoms and our liberties. And these states have made it so incredibly difficult to comply with their laws that they're waiting. They cannot wait to make you a felon. Now, violations of various firearms laws, are they, I don't know, like a traffic ticket or a No, they're all felonies. That's intentional. But see, things change. I took law school a long time ago. I didn't go into law because I didn't have the time to go into law school and piss away money. I need to be making money. And I went into law enforcement. but some of my early law classes, one of the things that sunk into my idiot cabeza is, hey, what's the difference between malum in se and malum prohibitum? A huge difference, a massive chasm, bigger than occurred in Willits, for example, from that recent earthquake. I think there was another one, huge earthquake in Venezuela. And malum in se is a Latin term which says that's bad on its face. And as I've explained before, a 10-year-old would know the difference between a given situation that they inherently intuit, that's bad, that's wrong. And malum prohibitum is fluctuous at the whim of whatever government is applying it. Malum prohibitum states, oh, well, it's bad because we say so. Whatever government that is, state, local, federal, city, county. And as you know, that changes like you change your underwear. And so GFL keeping up with all of the changes in the law. And then these cases go to court and they come back. And for the longest time, refute this. Republicans removed slavery because Democrats loved slavery, and the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Up until then, they never saw any kind of repression of darker brown and black people that they didn't love. But that was okay for years. Well, until it changes. That's malum in se. What you look at and you see, I know that's wrong. Malum prohibitum, the government tells me today, like John Cleese in Silverado, today my jurisdiction ends here, after he got the hat shot off of his head. It's bad because government say it is. Really? Really? So that's a happy story. Let's continue with some more happy stories. And then we're going to get into an issue where I have some issues. Let's put this up on the stage. And this is President Trump saying, you know what? I think we need to work on a national right to carry.
The NRA, everybody, they've been with me right from the beginning. And Bill asked me, would I support the national right to carry legislation? How do you feel about national right to carry?
Hell, yes.
That's my free poll. You know what that is? That's a free poll. I don't have to pay $300,000 to somebody that doesn't even do polling, to give you phony numbers. See, those are real numbers. National right.
So if he says he's thinking about this, well, at this point, yes, I believe him. Then there's also this, that, well, first, a national right to carry would absolutely drive leftists to this. That's what would happen to leftist heads all across the boneyard land. Well, then there's this also. Oh, just wait until how many, I don't know, hundreds of lawsuits come for this. And I had to try to find this. I found the story and then I lost it and I found it again. So here it is.
If a state refuses to turn their absentee voter list over to the federal government, will the Postal Service still mail their ballots under this proposal route?
Under our proposed regulation, no. We would tell the state that we need the manifest in order to, look, what we're asking for.
That's the, if a state refuses to turn their absentee voter list over to the federal government.
And that's the way it should be. This is me giving that guy, the postmaster, that's the way it should be. And there are some alleged Republican states, red states, that are saying, no, you can't access our information. You can't get in there. We don't want you to see these things. Well, okay. Well, I guess it's just not all the Demorats all the time necessarily, is it? No, of course it isn't. This was the one that was fabulous. Just came out of SCOTUS today. And again, leftists are all over the fruited plain that. So the Supreme Court today came out with two opinions, two rulings. And the first one cleared the way for the Trump administration to remove legal protections from thousands of Haitian and Syrian immigrants in the U.S., meaning they could be subject to deportation, that they don't necessarily belong here. Oh, they were given temporary breaks, temporary. And the Supreme Court said, no, I don't think that particularly holds. And if I can find it, there's a piece up here that says this. This is from Justice Thomas. You can read the top of it. But what he said was, second, even assuming jurisdiction, the equal protection claim fails for the additional reason that aliens have no equal protection rights against the federal government. Hey, in case you just tuned in, aliens have no equal protection rights against the federal government. And that is part and parcel of the opinion, in which Sotomayor apparently went absolutely friggin' nuts over that. And if you want to read it, this is going to be up on the Rumble side of the show, BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show. Read this. Supreme Court hands Trump two major immigration victories. And you can be guaranteed that this is the major reason why Demorats and leftists and globalists of all stripes and natures, anarchists, Demorat Socialists, are all saying, no, 9 SCOTUS jurists, not enough. We got to add at least 4 more. And then when we add 4 more, we're going to be the ones that are picking them. And then when we get our way, because every dog has its day, we're going to make D.C. a state, 2 instant leftist senators. We're going to make Guam a state, 2 instant leftist senators. Or maybe we'll make Puerto Rico a state. Not maybe so much recently, because Puerto Rico has kind of gone sideways as far as Democrats and leftists are concerned. Maybe Puerto Rico. Maybe not. But this is all out there. And that's one of the major reasons that, you cannot rely on SCOTUS. And Sotomayor. Apparently, Sotomayor and Samuel Alito had, I guess, words, tete-a-tete, over what was quantified as a blistering dissent that blindsided Alito. Now, the court decided they were both 6-3 decisions. And the court case, if you want to look them up, Mullen versus Al Otro Lado, involving asylum seekers arriving in the border, and Mullen versus Doe on the rescission of temporary protected status. Hey, kids, the operative word there being temporary, which, as far as Democrats and leftists would have been concerned, no, this is not going to be that. But again, Sotomayor, remember what Sotomayor was. Remember how she quantified herself. She was a wise Latina. Because Democrats, leftists, globalists, anarchists only see 2 things: sex and race. Race and sex, sex and race. Which is why I make everything about sex and race. Because in order to speak in their terms, that's kind of how we need to find whatever common ground, which mostly isn't, exists between Democrats and leftists and Republicans and the like. That's a happy story. Here's another one that drives, oh, damn it, Jim. This one absolutely drives leftists nuts. And as a result, judges, the potentiality here, judges are jockeying for position and kind of tending to pee over each other, raise their legs to get Trump's attention, because this is the worst possible thing in the land of bad and Democrats. Can you imagine? And this could occur, kids. Not entirely impossible. Trump could get 2 more SCOTUS appointments, because who's getting long in the tooth? Well, sadly, Clarence Thomas is getting long in the tooth. And who's the other one? I just mentioned him. Samuel Alito is also getting long in the tooth. And people are saying, well, maybe it's time for them to retire, move on, etc. Okay. But timing is everything, as everyone knows. Timing is absolutely everything. Bad timing, bad poop happening. Good timing, you could find Trump with the ability to make 2 nominations. Now, could he get them through? Hey, Republicans, if you poop in the punch bowl in November, that's what we're talking about tonight. So whose water are you going to carry? That of your own, or the Democrats, that of conservatives, or the rest of the people on an 85 to 15 damn percentile issue? Well, no, we can't see fit. We have to be playing with the Queen of Marques's rules. We can't soil our dainty little fingers. Listen, if the reverse were true, Democrats would run all of DC over with a steamroller. You can see how disrespectful they are with something as ridiculously stupid as the reflecting pond, which was left to languish, which Obama fixed, but for millions of dollars, but didn't really fix. That was okay. It was Obama, but it's Trump now. And so people have been going to the reflecting pool and trying to destroy it. Now, that's because of Trump. And it's also because, fundamentally, I believe leftists and Democrats don't love this country anymore. They truly don't. Oh, BZ, how can you say that? Just look around you. Open your damn eyes, okay? If you would, please. And then, this is what leftists think this is a great idea. Now, leftists are pushing this shindig on July 4th. Let's make a bank run. You probably didn't hear about that. But there's a problem. There's a catch with making a bank run on July 4th. Well, let's see. Are banks open on the 4th of July? That's one. And number 2, that might be a little difficult for leftists, for most common leftists, because of 2, what I consider to be very salient points. Number 1, they don't have jobs. And number 2, so they probably don't have bank accounts unless they were opened by mommy and daddy. The mayor of Seattle still lives with mommy and daddy. The commie mayor of Seattle lives with mommy and daddy. Okay, listen.
It's time for the bank run, y'all. Prepare yourself. Start moving your money, whether it's digitally, physically, what have you, to a credit union that is not owned by billionaires but owned by the community. Leave a tiny little bit left in the big bank. on July 4th, we're all going to take that money that we a little bit left out at the same time. It's going to trigger an FDI freeze, i.e. a banking system collapse, i.e. rich people's assets will lose value, i.e. their stocks will lose value. This is one of the ways we can crush the billionaire.
Okay,
Check out.
stop. It's like, Mikhail, Joe E. Flynn. Mikhail, stop. Boy, does that date me. It dates me or prunes me. I'm not sure which. But it's like, do you guys listen to yourselves? Do you really hear what you're saying? Do you hear the ridiculous, over-the-top, stupid shit that you're saying? And the answer is no, you don't. There might be a few issues with this. One of the biggest ones is you're not George Soros interfering with the Bank of England and cutting them and shorting the entire Bank of England, because that's how Soros got his first billions. I don't think you're George Soros, nor do I think you're even remotely sufficiently smart to do anything as kind of sort of coordinated as what it is that you think. Now, remember I said for this portion of the show, we're going to be talking about stuff that is, hey, this is a happy story. Well, yeah, what I'm going to be portraying next is a happy story. And then, as my law professor, Elton Long, used to say when he handed out the blue books in college, oh, that dates me too, or prunes me. He used to say, with this question, contrast and compare. So kids, contrast and compare this now. This is a happy story. From the Telegraph. I have to admit, there is a bit of shockedness that zazzed through my body electrically when I first read this story, as in, wow, I'm kind of amazed. From the Telegraph, Islamic call to prayer faces ban under left-wing Danish government. Left-wing Danish government, and even the left-wing Danish government are tired of all the damn muzzies, okay? By the way, what do you know about Islam? What is the call to prayer? Oh, that's where they get in the midst of intersections, block streets, and 5 times a day, there's a call to prayer. Not once a day, like, I don't know, at noon, during lunchtime. No, it's 5 times a day. And I guess Denmark has mostly had it with that crap. Then the contrast and compare. Here's Dearborn, Michigan, which is gone. Okay, stop just for a second. Now envision that 5 times a day. Oh, and it starts just slightly before the crack of dawn, 5 times a day. You can't stop that unless you're deaf. Or if you have, I don't know, hearing aids, maybe you can turn it down. But normal people who hear, you don't have a choice. You're going to hear this 5 times a day when Muslims subsume your city, your county, your state, because that's their goal. Oh, don't think that I don't have a show in the future illuminating all of this. Let's hear these dulcet golden tones. Oh, that's not augmented by loudspeakers, is it? Ah, no. Armini. That's someone just with a big voice. 5 times a day. Hey, kids, we'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Listen in to the Reaver of Common Sense, where we cut through the noise of news and politics with a show equipped for bombast. Tune in Mondays and Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, and 6 p.m. Pacific, featuring a refreshing dose of reality. Jersey Joe fearlessly tackles the tough topics with no nonsense. Just pure common sense. Visit shrmedia.com, where you can hear the Reaver of Common Sense in action. He may not always be polite. He may not always be refined. But one thing's for sure. He always tells it like it is.
Are you looking for a way to boldly express your faith and love for your country? And check out Seven Armors, the premier apparel company for patriotic men of God, where faith meets freedom in style. Our t-shirts are more than just clothing, they're statements. Bold, stylish, and meaningful. From timeless messages to modern designs, we've got something for every patriotic man of God. Wear your beliefs proudly with Seven Armors gear. Don't miss the chance to wear your faith and freedom on your sleeve. Visit 7armors.com today and join the movement. That's the number 7armors.com. 7armors.com. Faithful, vigilant, steadfast, passion.
Are you looking for bold, honest conversation about the issues shaping America? Well, let me welcome you to Unleashed 101 with Jeremy Hansen, where we take you beyond the headlines. We dive into politics and culture, the struggles of everyday life. It's raw, real, and unfiltered. If you're ready for truth with a punch, pull up a chair and join us. That's right, Unleashed 101, where real talk feels like home. Find us at unleashed101.com, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and more. We look forward to seeing you. Unleashed 101 with Jeremy Hansen.
Freedom. One nation in all of human history was built on that bedrock. Ours. A republic of the people, by the people, and for the people. Self-government requires freedom, just as freedom requires an individual willingness to self-govern. Freedom has made America exceptional, but it can only last as long as you and I seek the good, as expressed by the laws of nature and nature's God. It can only last if you and I choose to act as people of character. Forging character has been the pursuit of Hillsdale College since 1844.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
And thanks for being here tonight, folks. I'm BZ. Welcome back to the Saloon. Thank you so kindly for watching tonight and for partaking of whatever imbibement you may be encountering right now. Mine is potato water. Kettle Van potato water. Like I said before, maybe a month ago, I looked into my local liquor store and saw, hey, where'd Stoli go? Gone. So I went up to the dude that rings all the stuff up and said, hey, whatever happened to Stolishnia? And he said, bankrupto, my friend. The Ruskies went bankrupto because it wasn't paying all that well. And so there we go. Anyway, this is BZ's Saloon. You're in the Saloon tonight. It is June 25th, 2026. Oh my God, 2026. June, late June, almost July already, 2026. And thanks to everyone for being here. I said before that it seems for whatever reason, I'm really having some serious issues and problems with President Trump recently. And all you, what do they call them? Magats. I call them the American media maggots, and magats is actually maggots. We're maggots. And I don't toe the line with President Trump. When he's wrong, he's wrong. When he's right. Okay. And he's done some amazing things for this country, but he's been a massive boob on a lot of stuff. This is one of them. It's like, do you remember George Bush, the son, well, the father for that matter? Bush spent like a drunken sailor, and that was an insult to drunken sailors. Now here's Trump saying, I want $88 billion for the Iran war, farmer aid, and Ebola. Okay, nice thought in an ideal world, but where are we going to get that? Do we see, having already known what Doge was all about, have we seen all the necessary cuts that Doge mandated? The answer is no. Those have predominantly been stopped by leftist, anarchist, black robe judges, pieces of shit on federal benches. So if you continue to spend and you don't cut, what are you dooming your children to? Well, let's see. Debt that cannot be possibly paid off in their future. And in their future, hey, maybe a future full of muzzies, and they won't give a crap about the debt. So who cares? Move it right along. $87.6 billion appropriations request, dominated by, I think it was 67 point something billion dollars for the Defense Department, according to a copy of the request. You know, that's all well and good. Defense of the nation is one of our primary reasons for existing. Not if you talk to leftists. You don't have a right to self-defense in a leftist state or a city or a county. Your self-defense can essentially go to hell. Hey, kind of like what the Republicans are saying. You can go to hell. We'll get there. Okay. We will get there. And this is maddening. Now, there has to be a balance. There has to be a scales of all of this stuff. You want to add, well, you're going to have to take some shit away. And judges and leftists and Demorats and anarchists are saying, no, you're not taking nothing from us. As a matter of fact, we want more and more. The sensational Alex Harvey band, more and more and more. So when does it stop? Mr. Trump, you couldn't be more wrong about that. Here's another story that President Trump couldn't be more wrong on. So President Trump has said any number of times, relatively recently also, that he is siding with the deep surveillance state. Some of you may know about my positions on privacy. I'm not a big L libertarian, but I am a little L libertarian. I don't believe in hot and cold running dope in every state. And I don't believe in completely open borders, which is what libertarians are for. Nah, fuck you guys. That I can never, ever, ever be good with a full L libertarian, because I do, however, like my privacy and I like my security. And President Trump, has said any number of times that, I'm willing to set FISA 702 on okay. That's okay. I'm jiggy with that. So I couldn't disagree more with President Trump on FISA 702. It is, in fact, in my opinion, the right opinion, the proper opinion, is that 702 is a sweep of Americans in the name of foreign security, because they're getting into you using, but we're only looking at people around other nations that for any reason, if you have a linkulus to that, oh yeah, we're looking at your ass too. And once we look at your ass, we're not stopping. Because everything, like Q says, oh, we have it all. You know who really has it all? The Bumble Hive, the NSA data center in Utah. They have it all. Here's the deal. Section 702 can be used against any American, including the president after he leaves office, because this is applicable to anybody. And who wouldn't want to spy on President Trump besides everybody, right? It could be used to target him now. So all it would take is some kind of rogue actor somewhere in the FBI. Stop. Did a whole show about the FBI. What did I say about the FBI? Since the FBI has promised and has shown a history to be proven to be the weaponized arm of the DNC and leftists, basically a corrupt, anti-American terrorist organization. PZ, you are so over the top. Really? What's the definition? The standard rote definition of terrorism: the unlawful use of violence and intimidation, predominantly against civilians, in the pursuit of political aims. Hello, FBI, 10,000 agents right here, willing to go, ready to go. So that's a big issue. I have a very big issue with that. And you guys, if you want to see, I'm just making this stuff up, right? Here's an ad, excuse me, not an ad. Here's an article from Daily Caller. And he wants to preserve that spy tool. Let's go back into that again. Do you really, Trump, do you really want to relive 2016? Because what happened predominantly all of your first term? All you did is fight against surveillance and people that were lying against you and were using that surveillance state against you. And yet you're going to continue with FISA 702. How is it that you're insufficiently aware of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act on Section 702, and you were caught up in the midst of it? Okay, I'm not seeing the link with that. I don't understand that. And the other thing that I have and I've made no hesitation about saying this, President Trump, you are an abject, blithering moron when it comes to Iran. How is it now? They're all saying, well, and President Trump goes back and forth on this. Yes, the strait is open. No, the strait isn't. And then most recently, well, if they don't comply, and they have their 60 days to be able to do it, and the only people that are on the MOU, I'm sorry. MOA. I was thinking, sorry, minute of angle. You'll get that one. Pew, pew. The dealio about the MOU was, who are the signatories on that? Who must allegedly comply with that? Well, it's between the United States and Iran. Who isn't in the MOU? Israel. And yet Trump is saying, oh, is Israel no bueno, self-defense from Lebanon, Hezbollah, hurl missiles at you. Don't defend yourself. And who isn't also a signator on that? Oh, Saudi Arabia and a bunch of other Middle Eastern sandbox states. So did I not just hear from President Trump not long ago that if we don't have compliance, we're going to turn your world upside down? Or, I don't know, words to that effect, Senator. Well, I don't see it. I don't see it happening. And so Iran, being Muslim, they understand only two things. Only two: strength and death. And all the stuff that's in the middle between that is immaterial. So if you don't kill them, and you can go ahead and kill them because they have, I don't know, 72 virgins that probably, I don't know, maybe they all look, oh, please God, please God. Maybe they all look like Rosie O'Donnell. Who knows? All waiting for them. So they have some motivation to not obey at all. And then riddle me this, folks. When is it, and please leave the information that I ask now in the comments in chat. When is it that Iran has held up any agreement at any time with anyone? Now, if I was thinking, I would have had the song from Jeopardy on right now. And my whistler's not doing real well. But to Iran, it's all a game. It's a game of making you look the fool, President Trump, making delay tactics, delay and delay and delay. And ultimately, they're going to do whatever the hell they want to anyway. And they have said, every last damn one of them have said that to the very last man, we will continue to seek a nuclear program to put in our missiles and blot out the infidel in large mushroom clouds all over the planet. Because the caliphate is coming. I see it. Woo, woo, choo, choo. No. Come on, they're Bedouins. They're nomads. They don't build anything. They just destroy, kill, and conquer and dominate. That's the nature of Islam. I'm sorry if you haven't realized that by now. God, who's the guy? One of the redneck shows. There were like three guys that did a redneck show that said something like, "And if you don't, there's your moron." I don't know. I screwed that all up. I screwed that up terribly. I'm sure of it. And then this is like, hey kids, this just occurred today. President Trump, drone strike on ships. On a ship rocks Strait of Hormuz just days after the U.S.-Iran peace deal. How many times do I have to tell you that they will not honor anything? And negotiating with them is like trying to nail Jell-O to a tree or negotiate with a potted ficus. Not going to happen. That simply will not happen. And why after all this time, you don't seem to understand that? It is kind of beyond me. You know, and again, folks, I say we will get to this. We will get to Republicans saying essentially to the entire nation, but mostly to conservatives and fellow Republicans, you know what? You can go to hell. We don't want to have anything to do with you. Because let me put this up just for a second. We're going to go into stand by for news here in just a moment, but I want to put this up as a graphic. Here are Iran's nuke facilities. There are civilian nuclear sites, there's research reactors, there's uranium mines, and military sites. I don't hear anything going on with regard to, hey, we need epic fury again to take this crap out. Yeah, and Muslims are crap. Can't trust them. Ought to kill them. Sorry you didn't. But when you have this great an amount of assets in the Middle East, in the region, in the area, and you're not using them, chances are that that amount of equipment, material, people, etc., ships, planes, are not going to be around again. It's like trying to duplicate D-Day. D-Day happened mostly once, and it probably won't happen again because history. How many other presidents in the future do you think will have the wherewithal or the balls to gather that great a number of U.S. military assets and place it ready to go? You used them once, you ought to be using them again. And that's just one of any number of things, but these things just come to the top of my head tonight, President Trump. And no, I do not fall in lockstep with President Trump. However, while we're there, and I said we would, we're going to go into some news, and there's some
conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
And let's go to this instead.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal.
Because there are a couple of very interesting things that I'm going to be showing in the first, I'll say, 30 seconds of this. But you're going to be standing by for news. Let's see, I have 8 news stories for you that I think you'll find very interesting, and especially the first one. But 10, 9, 8. What are we standing by for? What?
3, 2, 1. I will build a great wall. Stand by for news.
And here's the first one. This is kind of cool. My cybersecurity expert sent me this. In space and technology. I think I'm going to have to embiggen this. Let me read some of this, because in my humble opinion, this is going to be the greatest danger to any military, any Western military, anywhere. And if we have it, chances are that lots of other countries have this as well. Under space and technology, there's a company named Shield AI has unveiled a device, a drone called the X-Bat. And it is a completely autonomous jet-powered aircraft that can take off and land vertically without a runway. So the aircraft, this drone, can fly at 50,000 feet, has a range of about 2,000 nautical miles. It is powered by, and this is called a clue, HiveMind AI software. X-Bat is designed to carry out very complex missions, operate, here's the clue, kids, operate in swarms and work alongside piloted aircraft. Let me see if I can embiggen this and play it.
Meet Shield AI's X-Bat, a fully autonomous jet-powered vertical takeoff and landing fighter aircraft. Designed to operate without a pilot and without traditional runways, it can carry both air-to-air and air-to-surface weapons. According to Shield AI, the X-Bat aircraft can operate at altitudes of up to 50,000 feet and have a range of around 2,000 nautical miles. Powered by Shield AI's HiveMind autonomy software, X-Bat is designed to perform complex missions, operate in swarms, and collaborate with manned aircraft. Meet Shield AI's X-Bat.
So here's the deal. Here's what we're discovering. Can you name for me, can you delineate for me, folks, how many defense systems we have against drones? Anybody in chat? Bueller? Anyone? You over there behind the sofa trying to salvage coins, I think, out of the back. Good luck for that. Oh, the IRS will be, if you find them, the IRS will be there shortly to relieve you of that amount of money. So tell me how it is that we are ahead of drones and we have any number. I heard up to 10 to 20 ways of disabling drones, because the smaller drones in, I don't know, like 2, 3, 4, 500 of them all in sync, those are the easiest to take down. No, they're not. But this will be our future. Are you watching what's happening in Russia? Are you watching what's happening in Ukraine? Ukraine is gaining ground in terms of drone technology on Russia, and they're being fairly damn efficacious about it as well. This is in our future. Warfare is going to change mightily. And just when you thought you loved government, but you want to love it even more, here's a great story. Anarchy, this is from the New York Post, and it'll be up in the Rumble side. Anarchy grips California town as council overrules its own recall and locals threaten members. So, okay, in a place called Avenal in Southern California, Avenal is the site, by the way, of a big prison. And so most of the people there are employed by the prison or prison-oriented aligned type businesses. And because the council is a piece of crap, basically everybody decided to vote every council member out. And the council said, and this will again be in Rumbleside, the council said, oh no, we're not going. As a matter of fact, there isn't anything that you can do about this. And we know it. So the only thing left for that is law. And it's not working. And they're still there. Trust me. Make this notation. Today, June 26th, the year of our Lord 2026, this small city council in Avenal has set precedent that will be picked up and run with by Democrats and leftists. When the people say that's not going to happen, and Democrats and leftists are going to give those people the high-flying fickle finger of fate saying, and what are you going to do about it? Then the answer will be, okay, what are you going to do about it? So can anyone besides me say something similar to CW2? That's Civil War II. Can you tell me the alternatives? Well, we'll negotiate around a nice, dark, even table, and we'll sit down with a nice steaming cup of chai. And I'm sure Muslims and everyone and leftists and anarchists and Antifa, they'll all see the logic of our argument, and we can discuss it rationally and come to an obvious conclusion. You know that's true. By the way, in terms of this was funny. Okay, number one, like Rosa DeLauro got a little bit heated today at Mark Wayne Mullen, okay, who is DHS secretary. I know, let's be a fly on the wall, kids. Let's listen.
You know, when you take your clothes to the cleaners, they give you a tag, and you then go back and you retrieve your clothes. When you get luggage, you go and get your luggage is returned. Well,
I wish the Biden administration would have done that.
Let me just say this to you, sir. Again, it is my time. 3,900 children were separated from their families.
450,000 kids were lost during the Biden administration. You didn't say a word about
Mr. Secretary, do not interrupt.
Don't you?
Do not insert facts into a stupid fucking leftist argument by a moron at her advanced age who should know better. And look, Ms. DeLauro, ranking member, don't you spew facts to me, and I'll point my stupid little wrinkled finger, like mine, see, wrinkled, at you if I want to. Go.
Point your finger at me. Don't
I
be a
will
hypocrite.
point my finger
Don't you be
at
a hypocrite
you.
then. Then you be as threat, you should be as upset about the 450,000 kids that were lost. You didn't say a word about it. For 4 years, you never said a word.
Mr. Secretary.
Could you put him in his place for
Don't yell at me.
Can you put him in his place? You know what his place is? His place is in a corner. Never put baby in a corner. His place is in a corner in a jail cell under the prison. And whatever he says must be censored. You cannot let the truth escape. And that's how leftist fucksticks like this get where they are. Who elects these people? Idiots, morons, leftists. You need to put him in his place. Okay. Then I go here. You knew I had to sooner or later. Good God. Did you see the time? Have you seen the time? Does everybody know what time it is? Does anybody really care? Chicago.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
In a world where leftists are running out of metal for the safety pins of their soothing red diapers, one man stands alone, attempting to fundamentally change America, one leftist diaper at a time. BZ, your conservative Sherpa, is guiding you through the maelstrom of Democrat leftists and globalist lies, chaos, deceit, and betrayal. Listen to BZ Saloon on select and exclusive Tuesday and Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Central, and 11 p.m. Eastern on the SHR Media YouTube channel, Twitch, KLRN, Rumble, and X at BZ Saloon. It's one great late-night conservatarian talk radio show. Be there. Aloha.
Hello, friends. You have a moment so that we may discuss our Lord and Savior Minarchy? No, seriously, I'm just kidding. Hi, my name's Rick Robinson. I am the general manager of KLRNradio.com. We are probably the largest independent podcast network that you've never heard of. We have a little bit of everything, and by that, what I mean to tell you is we have news, pop culture, special events, conspiratainment, true crime, mental health shows, drama productions, and pretty much everything in between. So if you're looking for a new podcast home to grab a little bit of everything that you love all in one place, come check us out. You can find us on X under @KLRNradio. You can find us on our Rumble and our YouTube channels under the same names. You can also find us at KLRNradio.com and pretty much every podcast catcher known to man. So again, feel free to come check us out anytime you like at KLRN Radio.
It's Sean from the Edge of Liberty. Just like the Bidens, I too am moving. Only in my case, it's days and times. That's right. You can now find the Edge of Liberty Monday at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern, and Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on 11 Eastern on the SHR Media Network. Join me as we talk politics, news, alcohol, fun, not so much fun, clowns, small kittens, large kittens, dogs, amoebas, and anything else that just pops into my mind while I'm on the air. That is Monday and Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 on the East Coast, on YouTube, X, KLRN Radio, Facebook, Twitch, and anywhere else a good podcast is found. Please check out our website, shrmedia.com. I will see you live on the air.
Attention, all patriotic women of faith. Yep, I'm talking to you, sis. Are you looking for high-quality, super soft apparel that reflects your love for country and your devotion to God? Look no further than Carry Girl Gear. Picture this. You rocking a tee so soft it's like being hugged by a cloud, all while showing off your love for God and country. Sounds dreamy, right? Well, welcome to reality, babes, because that's what we're all about here at Carry Girl Gear. We specialize in super soft tees, tanks, and more, designed specifically for the strong, patriotic woman who proudly wants to carry their message of faith and freedom. When you shop with us, you're not just getting a t-shirt. You're joining a community of like-minded women who are proud to wear their beliefs straight on their tees. So whether you're sipping sweet tea on the porch or leading the charge for faith and freedom, do it in a Carry Girl tee. Because life's too short for stiff, boring tees. CarryGirl.com, where faith and freedom meets fashion.
Independence. With that declaration, America was born. Inspired by a belief in the God-given rights of every human being, and in the good that comes from exercising these rights well. The founders of our great nation chose independence. As do we. Hillsdale College accepts no government funding because independence makes possible the good to which we aspire.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Welcome back to the Saloon. It is the final 26 minutes of the show, give or take, depending upon whether I have to do some overtime. Thanks to everybody for being here. You can watch now live. I'm also going to put it up. You can watch later on in podcast. You can find the show in most all of your famous, great obsequious purple and clairvoyant podcast catchers all around the entire planetarius and globe. And if you want to see me, watch me in podcast, find some podcast place. Chances are, I've found this show in podcasts and in areas I never applied to. I never watch. There are some podcast networks that I didn't even know existed. And my show I found was there. There's probably a host of other places where I'm thinking, good God, how come I'm not getting any money because of that? How come I'm not getting any money through all of that? And of course, as I've said before, hey, come on, producer. God, producer.
Folks, this is BZ's final hour. Step up. Last call for alcohol.
And here it is. There it is. Last call for alcohol. If you want it, go get it. And again, thanks for being here tonight. Everyone and everyone and everyone. We're finally getting to this part. Republicans, what the hell are you doing? Why are you setting us all aside? Why are you saying to us that we can go to hell? Why, Republicans, are you undermining everything that we're trying to do to save this nation? Let me give you a few examples. Now, you remember Mamdani, muzzy lying, Takia loving communist. He's not a socialist. He's not a Demorat socialist. He's a commie looking to overtake this nation. Unopposed by Republicans who are spineless, cowards, invertebrates, are not doing a thing. But 3 communists and Demorat socialists recently got elected. Their specific names, except for one that I'll go into in just a moment, they don't really mean anything because it's like, I'm not in this area. Pastor Niemöller, and who was left? Me. I'll play that someday. For those of you who don't know the reference to which I make, I am literally ashamed of you. You should know that, all of it, by heart. But the point is, those people that recently got elected by inferior people who call themselves smarter than you, intellectuals, are the exact opposite. They're morons. So there's a guy by the name of Representative Greg Stube who says newly elected socialists who can't swear an oath to America should not be seated in Congress. And he's going to file an amendment to create a new rule. Every member of Congress has to swear an oath to protect and uphold the Constitution. If this one particular chick, that's me saying this, is refusing to do that, she shouldn't be seated at all. We need to pass a rule. The program has given me the idea to file an amendment. He's talking about Daria Lisa Avila Chevalier. She founded an organization that calls for death to America. Now, when people like this, leftists, anarchists, muzzies, are saying this shit to you, and it comes out of their mouth, it spews out of their mouth like foam, like spittle. Why is it that you don't believe what they're telling you to your face? The only way that they could make it clearer is to simply eliminate you. So besides founding an organization that says death to America and also advocates for the total eradication of Western civilization, she also has said that she uses the American flag as a napkin. People like this are absolutely incompatible with Western civilization, like Muslims. Not some Muslims, all Muslims. There's no such thing as a moderate Muslim. There's only a Muslim who is either a coward or is not practicing it properly, as per the Hadith and the Quran. Go read them. I have. So if they cannot uphold their oath of office, why are we even having anything to do with them at all? Because here's, I'm going to tell you what they're saying because you may not be able to understand it completely. So this is 16 seconds of jubilant happiness and celebratory celebrations after all these America haters, the three of those, were elected. And what they're saying, Demorat Socialist of America followers, and with the obvious approval of the Muzzy Mayor, Mamdani. That's kind of a mouthful. You got to give me a break. I'm getting up there in age, but I did pull it off once. So what they're saying, listen, is from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. At the New York City DSA victory party. By the way, there is no such state as Palestine, unless you're a moron. But anyway, here, let's listen. First, let me put it up on the stage, and then listen here. This is happiness. This is Demorat Socialist happiness. Now, can you imagine that jubilation throughout the land and then having to listen to the crap that I played for you in the first hour in terms of the Muzzy call to prayer 5 times a day at the crack of dawn and at sunset and all points in between? But see, that's okay. This is America. And even, oh God, I have so much to talk about. There might be some overtime. It's Thursday. There's no show on after mine. So maybe there might be a little bit of overtime. Okay. Mark your calendar, kids. Anyway, Democrats are having a fight, and deservedly so, with themselves. Democrats are having a fight with Demorat Socialists, and ne'er the twain shall meet. And finally, Democrats, not just, not the people that, true Democrats, even true dyed-in-the-wool Democrats are saying, what the hell is going on with our party? Because it's not our party anymore. What the hell happened to it? Now, I'm going to play a cut from James Carville. And you and I both know that anytime you hear James Carville, the Ragin' Cajun, it's going to be entertaining, kids. It's going to be entertaining as hair. And I'm going to play it. But basically, what James Carville has said is there is this massive schism, ripped from the flaming pages of Captain Obvious. There's a schism in the Demorat party. And now, James Carville, the master who manipulated Bill Clinton and got him elected twice, he's a campaign organizer. He is an organizer with his incisors, and brought Clinton to power. So he's saying that he wants nothing to do with the 3 candidates that were just recently elected and won their Demorat primaries in New York because they're Demorat Socialists. They were all supported and endorsed by Muzzy Mamdani, mayor of New York City. New York City. Sorry, I couldn't resist. So, former New York City comptroller, a dude by the name of Brad Lander, crushed Dan Goldman. Union organizer, this stupid bint chick that I told you about earlier, Daria Lisa Avila Chevalier, who said, death and destruction to everybody. Let's take the United States down. and Claire Valdez trounced people. The 3 districts are solid blue. And so the Mamdani-backed candidates that won their primaries are thusly, by extension, expected to win. Apparently, that's not sitting very well with James Carville. And I have the video to prove it. Now, I have to go into overtime now because I want to play this video for you guys, and we're going to get into the Republican stuff. Oh, and by the way, let me put this up. Programming note. Now, I am probably going to have a Sunday night saloon. Same time, same bat channel, same bat time, 8 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Central, 11 p.m. Eastern on Sunday night. And it's probably going to feature a gentleman by the name of Alan Ray. And I said initially, I want to get through all of the people that are on KLRN, have them on my show, have them explain who they are and what they do. So there will be a Sunday night saloon, just letting you know, this weekend. And it will probably be with that I will continue my frothing at the Republican Party, because I'm getting the feeling that I'm not going to be able to get to all the really important matters that are involved right now. So I may have to wrap up the show and leave some more in the future, but fret not, be fretless like a bass, and come back Sunday night to the Sunday Night Saloon, and it will be a continue on. God, it's Italian, so I can't pronounce this. Continuazione. In Italian, it will continue. That's Italian for continue. So come back Sunday night. Jimmy Carville, go, Mr.
Valiant, I'm the New York Times reported, and I have the quote right here. I'll get to it. She is against pass off all their views. She has attacked interracial relationships in the American flag. Lady, I ain't in the same party as you. I'm sorry. Okay.
Did you get that? She's against interracial relationships. Now, if a white cracker like me said that, or Jimmy Carville said that, we'd be a racist, right?
Not. And I actually do think it's time for Democrats to talk the S word, schism. I really do. Everybody's always said, no, we're coalition, we're big tent. And there's just some shit that I can't be in the same tent with. And we talk about what Madame was 3 for 3 last night in Manhattan. They call it the Commie Corridor. Fine.
Commie Corridor.
Jason Crow's service pack, vote bets.
Wait a minute.
10 for 11. You wouldn't know Jason Crow exists. Okay.
No, you wouldn't.
You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know Abel Sandberg exists. You wouldn't know. I want to be very specific. I understand the free press for being here, because if they nominated David Duke or something like that, we'd be the same way. I understand all that. To the extent I understand the Times, because they are the New York Times, so they have to cover. They are the hometown newspaper. But the idea that we must neglect everything else that's going on, all of these other primaries, all the recruits Jason has, all huge, phenomenal successes we've had, and declare that the party is now under the control of the Democratic Socialists of New York City is insane.
Okay. Well, it is insane. Of course it is. But I just wanted to let you hear James Carville, the Ragin' Cajun, say something about that. Now, in case you're thinking, we only have James Carville to weigh in on this. And well, what if he's lying? What if he's way out of line? What if he's speaking terrible falsehoods? Hey, would you like to see a video? I think I would. Now, you tell me how smart these idiot leftist bints are. Well, first, they're in a podcast called The Bituation Room. Okay, well, maybe that's applicable. So, Demorat nominee for New York 7, I think she won, says she wants to abolish pre-check and nationalize the entire airline industry. Okay.
My hot take is we need to abolish pre-check. I've got like a million beefs with the airline industry and the process of having to fly. We need to like nationalize the airline industry. But let's start by abolishing my hot take.
Okay. It's like I said at the beginning of the show. Okay. There's so much going on, BZ. How do you keep up? Well, I try, but I only have a 2-hour show 2 times a week, sometimes 3 times a week. And I can't be everywhere and say everything. But what I emphasize is like that. I don't have to make anything up because that comes out of their mouths. Okay. I bring the articles and I bring the videos and I let these people speak for themselves. They are frequently their own worst enemies, and yet idiots keep voting for this crap. But I digress, sadly. And so here's another story, and I will tell you why this is happening. And then we're going to go definitely into the Republican stuff. Here's a story from CNN. And we've had any number of bouts with Ebola. And Ebola predominantly comes from the darkest continent. And this is mostly from Congo, the Democrat Republic of Congo. And yet the problem with this is that Ebola is a massive, terrible hemorrhagic disease which can have a 50+ percentile or more easily death rate. And so now an Ebola response worker who traveled from Congo to France is the first to test positive outside Africa. And then I said I would explain why. Because you have moron black people who are regressive and unintelligent, who keep setting hospital tents on fire, and who, by tradition, touch their loved ones' deceased bodies all over in many rituals, and then wonder why they're spreading Ebola. And this is another reason why people of this nature and class, there's no fixing stupid. There's no fixing these cultures. Some cultures are infinitely worse than ours, because you either make some kind of a judgment about that, or you let these various third world shithole cultures destroy you. Okay, so hey, kids, what did James Madison say? He said, if our nation is ever taken over, it's going to be taken over from within. From us being stupid. And so I said, there's somebody that, I like her sometimes. I don't like her some other times, but she makes a great point. And what she's saying is, what the question was to Nancy Mace, okay, South Carolina. And the question to her was, hey, what do you think is the Republicans' single biggest weakness going into the midterms, and what can you do about it? And she said, and OMG, is this ever true? And I believe that you will agree with me. She said, these are quotes, the Republican Party's biggest weakness is straightforward. We get the majority, like I showed you at the beginning of the entire show, and then become paralyzed by the fear of losing it. Not a Nancy Mace quote, but I will insert now. In the 60s, my civics teacher, Mr. Helms, said the one thing, the only thing that I think I maybe remembered from all of high school was Democrats don't win elections, Republicans lose them. What usually occurs to the opposite party in the midterms that's holding the White House? You know it. You've seen it. So she said, okay, we run on securing the border, fixing the affordability crisis, restoring law and order. Then we get to Washington and we pass the most moderate policies we can get conservatives to accept. And so these small groups negotiate major legislation behind closed doors, strip out the provisions that they promised us, the electorate, and present 1,000-page bills, as like, okay, here's a bill, take it or leave it. Meanwhile, the voters who sent us here get betrayed. And this is the paragraph. The answer isn't complicated. Stop the closed door deals. Let members actually vote on what Americans want by overwhelming margins. Border security, banning constitutional stock trading. Oh my God. Banning constitutional stock trading. The only politicians in DC who are against that are those that are corrupt and making money on inside deals, on inside jobs. Okay? And requiring voter ID. Requiring voter ID, and that was the emphasis, the thrust behind this entire show. Voter ID, why don't we have it? Requiring voter ID. These have not just majority support, these have super majority support. These are 85 percentile to 15 percentile issues. You don't get issues like that dropped in a politico's lap that are that over the top in terms of numbers. 85% of Americans want election integrity and security. And then, as I said, Republicans are basically saying, you know what? You want that? Tough shit. You can go to hell. And that's what she said. If we don't deliver on these things, Nancy Mace said, we'll lose this majority and we'll have earned it. Voters don't reward timidity or broken promises. They reward results. Govern with purpose or get out of the way. I know you guys, you've been around. It's late tonight. It's, oh my God, it's 12:58 on the East Coast. And thanks to all of you for staying up so late with me. And I think I'm going to have to continue this on Sunday night, on BZ's Sunday Night Saloon. Because I'm looking up at all my tabs right here and I'm going, I literally didn't get to half of the stuff that I wanted to talk about. That's a customary BZ show. So for all of you who showed up tonight, I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to throw some things up so that you can see them. Now, people are resting on their laurels because of this. What you may or may not see up there, it says 2030 apportionment forecast. And so what that says is the states in red are going to be losing seats. Those are predominantly blue states, though they're delineated in red. Oregon, California, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, New York, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Hawaii. But that's 2030. That is 2030. We don't have that amount of time to wait or waste. And so here are the states and the battlegrounds that are going to round out the midterms. And then the other thing I want to remind everybody of is, look at this. Look at this. These are Democrats that are vying for 2028. And so Harris is in the lead. It's like, can you believe this? Harris in the lead, 27%. Newsom, 14%. Buttigieg, 11%. Occasionally competent, 8%. But this is the big teller of all. Who's in number 2 position? 17%. No preferred candidate. Like, you can't write this stuff. You absolutely cannot write this stuff. So, kids, I'm going to have to sign off. I do have some more things to say. And that is, we do have some great shows for you upcoming. And if you are an SHR Media devotee, then I want to remind everybody that just before me, Earl Big E Jackson is on, as you can see in the bottom, on the Mission Ready Men briefing. He's on Tuesday and Thursday nights. Earl is a great and grand individual. He starts at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. Eastern. Mission Ready Men, the Mission Ready Men briefing. And then following that on Friday nights and also Saturday nights, it's Lyle Armstrong with Beer und Bullstein. Beer and Bullstein. And that is he. I'm going to make a t-shirt that says that because I liked what he wrote. I made that on AI. And there's his dog, his beloved dog, Shepherd, Cartier. Cartier is a jewel of a dog. So watch Lyle Armstrong on Beer and Bullstein Friday and Saturday nights, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Those are the folks that you need to watch. And in the meantime, I'm still on my standard times on Tuesday and Thursday nights, except, I want to remind everybody. Anyway, I'm on Tuesday and Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Central, and 11 p.m. Eastern, except for this Sunday night. There will be a BZ's Sunday Night Saloon, Sunday, where I'm going to talk to Alan Ray, who already has a show called Sunday Night with Alan Ray. And he can be found on KLRN. And I tell you, kids, we're going to finish up with all the Republican stuff because I got a lot more to say. Bibbidi bobbidi boo. Put it together and what do you got? Bibbidi bobbidi boo. Man, maybe in terms of bibbidi. And so, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thanks for listening to BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show, live and direct right here on the SHR Media YouTube channel, on KLRN, on Rumble. I should mention the munificently grandiose KLRN, and lots, as I mentioned, of other prior bulbous podcast locales. As per normal, subject to change. Promotional consideration is by the Lockheed Martin Skunk Works and by Shure and Electro Voice microphones, the people that manufacture the mics that I use here in the studio, and the Arrakis company that make my mixer, and also Pratt & Whitney Engines manufacturing dependable engines yielding thrust you can trust. No thanks to my guest tonight because it was just me and only me. Anyway, thanks to my personal KC-135 Kettle One refueling team with whom I shall be consorting in about 10 minutes or so after I clean up the mess around here. And so I'll be back Sunday night. Don't go away just yet. There's an important point that I want to make in just a moment.
Good night, Mama. Good night, Ben. Good night, everyone. Good night, Mama. Good night, Daddy.
Good night, children.
Good night, Daddy. Good night, Elizabeth.
Good night, John Boy. Good night, Jim Bob. Good night, Jim Bob.
Good night, Jim Bob.
What's going on? I was asleep. What's everybody doing?
Good night,
Good night, Jim Bob.
Good night, and good luck.
And this is what I want to leave with tonight, because it will, this is a milepost, I guess. It was a month ago. I find it absolutely astounding that it's already been a month that Jake, my great innocent dog, Leftist at the age of 13, a month on Saturday. I'm just shocked. Now we have a new one. We're focusing on him. And just remember, all dogs go to heaven. Good boy, Jake. Good boy. Good night.